We're tired.
So very tired.
But it's fine. We're here. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Neurodivergent Convergence. As promised, we are live recording together. What about it, Aminder?
It's weird because you actually have a mic that I don't possess. I usually just record from $10 headphones. So this is feeling fancy over here.
Yes. So we're gonna hopefully get Aminder outfitted with this here fancy mic so that our audio matches a little better. But it's fine. It's fine. We're here. We're doing what we need to do. Anyway, we are talking today about something incredibly relevant to both of us at the current moment. We have spent the last several days helping and attending our very good friend Scott's wedding. And though it was a joyous occasion and we enjoyed it very much and we're very happy for both of them, we are in fact socially exhausted.
Yes, so very tired.
And I'm moving the mic closer to Aminder because she's softer spoken than me. So there we go. Yay. So anyway, we're gonna get into it. Today is more of a conversational kind of thing, less like topic based. Like we are going to touch on social exhaustion. It's more of like a storytelling today, and I can't speak. Hello. So anyway, let's have some fun and fuckery per usual. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Do you remember who goes first? Because I don't.
I'm now blanking on whether we read the AI story first or the Mad Libs first.
I think we usually do the AI story first.
Okay.
So it's you, right?
Let's do the AI story.
Okay, cool.
So what were the keywords?
Oh, because I didn't tell you because I'm not nice.
I know one of them was exhaustion.
Yeah,
and
so
our
it
names.
was our names and socially or social and exhausted.
Okay. So let's see. Nikki had walked up to Amanda and introduced herself to her, telling her that Amanda was her friend and that Amanda would like her. Amanda took the compliment gracefully and graciously and tried to ask Nikki questions, but was always interrupted by Nikki's frequent groans. After the third time, Amanda stopped and said, "I just don't feel like talking to you right now. I don't know what to say to you either. I feel really exhausted and I don't want to talk about this anymore." It sounds legit. Nikki only responded by groaning loudly. Eventually, they just talked about Amanda. If Amanda said anything, it was short. If Nikki talked, she would be telling a story about Amanda and talking too fast for Amanda to keep up. Amanda tried to follow, but became so frustrated that she had to tell Nikki, "I don't understand you. You're saying that my sister is sitting right in front of you and she's a piece of shit, and you're telling me you're going to help me, but you don't know what I'm talking about, and you're telling me what I'm thinking, but you don't know? You're exhausted. What are you talking about?" Nikki simply responded, "I'm not exhausted. I'm sitting here with you, but I'm not tired. I'm telling you what I'm thinking. I'm going to ask you questions, and you're going to answer them. If you don't like what I ask you to do, then just answer me with your mouth shut, and we'll get this over with. If you're tired, we can get through this. I'm not tired." After 3 hours of sitting and talking about Amanda and trying to get Nikki to talk about herself, Amanda was starting to get frustrated. She was exhausted. Amanda knew she had to get out and go to sleep, but there were more hours in the day than there were hours in Amanda. And for Nikki, the emotional stress of telling a story, asking questions, and hearing no over and over again had taken a toll. She was completely drained. The end.
Oh my god. That's my new favorite line. There were more hours in the day than there were hours in Amanda.
That tracks.
It very much so tracks.
Oh god.
Oh, Lord. And then what's not tracking, however, is the fact that you were the one droning on about yourself, which doesn't occur in real life.
No.
So...
This AI doesn't know me at all.
No, this AI don't know me very well, do he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. So, behind the curtain, I originally had the word burnout in there, and it totally did something I didn't want it to do. So we're going to save that AI story for another day, because it's funny, but it's definitely not on brand for this episode.
No.
So, but it's Mad Lib time. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're ready. Okay, we're going to go now. So we did a birthday wish list this time. Okay, here it is. Dear Bonanna King, my birthday is coming up in 412 days, and I'm so excited I could prostrate. I don't expect any gifts, but if you want to zhuzh me up something special, here are some ideas. Pogs. I already have 3.4 of these cardboard discs, but I could use some for my scrumptious collection. American Razzle Dazzle doll. These dolls are so loosey-goosey and historical. I already have a Manda doll, but I'd love a Reginald too. Slap bracelets. I'd love some new bubblegum pink bracelet to slap on my left ear. Moon boots. These boots let you jump so indubitably you can almost gobsmack the moon. Pedro Pocket. This doll is so tiny, and I think I lost mine somewhere under the kleptomaniac. Can you dilly-dally me a new one? The end. Oh my god.
So I picked my words earlier and just kind of wrote them down, and she just put them in this story, just FYI.
Yeah, this one was interesting. Pedro Pocket.
Pedro Pocket.
That's going in the title.
I wanted to do Pedro Pascal, but it told me to just do a first name, so...
Yep, it's Pedro Pocket and the American Razzle Dazzle doll.
Give me the old Razzle Dazzle.
Give me the old Razzle Dazzle. Also, we learned that zhuzh is spelled incredibly strangely. She tried to figure out how to spell it, and I looked at this word when I was adding it to the story. I'm like, what the fuck is this word? It is spelled, for those of you uneducated like me, Z-H-U-Z-H. No one would look at that word and say zhuzh.
It was the word of the day yesterday, because we just kept saying, gotta zhuzh it up, and I'm like, and I was searching in Google, like, S-C-H-O-O-Z-E, and it kept saying schmooze. I'm like, no, not schmooze, but then it corrected me, so I didn't know how to spell it either.
I was thinking zhuzh was like a J, you know what I mean? Like,
I was thinking like scooch.
Like J-U-G-E or something, I don't know.
I thought it was more like in the like a scotch type of...
Scotch, yeah.
A scotch kind of situation.
Yeah, not a scotch this time. Oh, well. Before we jump into, like, the conversational topic, do we have any updates for the people?
I start my new job tomorrow, my new position. Got my own office, so I moved everything to the new office. I just didn't have time to zhuzh it up.
Product placement.
Yes, there we go.
Cheap plug.
Patented. Didn't have a chance to zhuzh it up yet, so I'm gonna be organizing. It's kind of just all thrown into a drawer, panically. So that's gonna get done tomorrow. And as we said, we just got done. My best friend's wedding was yesterday. Besides that, really nothing else going on. What about you?
Yeah, so in the middle of all of the melee of the wedding stuff, I got a call from the office that's going to be doing my youngest son's autism testing, and I was not expecting to have any kind of appointment anytime soon, but they were able to get him in August. So we have 3 full days and I figured out what it's called now, because I don't think I could remember last time, but it's called the Global Assessment Testing. Which is different because, like I said, when we got Nicholas diagnosed, it was called an ADOS test. So this is a 3-day long set of testing that we have to do. So we have an intake appointment at the end of this month, and then at the end of August, we have 3 consecutive days of appointments. The first one is a really long day from like 8 to 3, and then there's 2 days. We're going to follow that up with 2 days after from like 8 to noon each day. And then we will get results back at the beginning of September. So I'm looking forward to that. I was not expecting to have that appointment so quickly. So that's good. Other than that, I don't think I have any, massive updates or anything. So let's get into this weekend and everything that happened and how we're feeling and why we feel it and all of that good jazz. So I'd just like to talk about social exhaustion now. Well, we'll start with you. Mm-hmm. Give me an overview of how you feel this weekend went. Where were your stumbling points? We've had a little bit of time to process and disassociate and sleep. Mm-hmm. So I think we're in a good spot to kind of deconstruct this weekend. So go for it.
So full disclaimer, Scott, we love you. In case you're listening to this episode, we love you. everything was great. We're just kind of processing it verbally now. So we just want to say that we love you and everything's fine. We just wanted to put our thoughts into everything. So my weekend kind of started actually Tuesday, because I worked Monday, had Tuesday off because of the holiday. I spent like Tuesday and Wednesday just kind of like cleaning my house. It's kind of a bit of like, Nikki was coming over. She came over on Thursday. And even though she does not care the state of my house, and my house was basically fine, it's also the fact of I need to clean because otherwise everyone will judge me in my life if my house is not spotless, which I know no one actually does that except my mother. So I cleaned vigorously and got distracted by cleaning various things too hard at times on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Thursday, Nikki came. She originally was going to come later in the afternoon, but she was able to come earlier, so she left super early and was able to come to Scott's at like 9:30 on Thursday. And then we helped him make casseroles for the rehearsal dinner and the in-between of the wedding and the reception for Friday and Saturday. So we got that done. It took a bit longer than we thought, but we also had to like take a trip to like Carbondale, get some stuff, which, is like about 30 minutes away. So I had to go get that and come back and all that. Got my nails done, had a doctor appointment. Then we came, I don't think we did anything else after that on Thursday.
We got food.
We got food and then we just came back here.
And colored your hair.
And colored my hair. Oh yeah, we colored my hair like at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
We couldn't get dinner until like 9:30.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what even happened, but like, I feel like after we left Scott's house and by the time we ate food was all a blur.
Yeah.
I feel like we got home, we got back here, I think we both showered.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we both smelled like spaghetti sauce.
Spaghetti sauce and taco seasoning.
Yeah, and stinky cheese. And so we showered, and then by the time we showered and sat down for 5 minutes, we both looked at each other and were like, sustenance, I'm hungry. And then we fought with DoorDash for 30 years, what felt like 30 years. Finally, we were like, fuck it, we're just going to get in the car and go. Mm-hmm. So we left and went to go get sustenance. And then by the time we got back from getting sustenance and the time we got the will to live to stand again, we finally were able to start coloring her hair around like 9:45-ish.
Yeah. So we did that. Friday was the rehearsal, which we get there about 10:30 after we picked up some stuff at Walmart. We got some coffee and donuts for people that were set up. And then we realized that the amount of tables that they needed for the amount of guests were enough, but they did not have enough tablecloths, and the tablecloths they had were too small. Mm-hmm. It's like they just barely fit the table.
And I don't think anyone was really prepared for that. I think the planning and the preparation included the fact that those tablecloths would in fact work for the tables.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone saw that coming out of left field. But I could see the stress and the anxiety just sort of building on Scott. And I was like, okay, Amanda, we need to take action. Like, this is not going to work. It's not working. And it's not anybody's fault that it's not working, but it's not working. And we need to do something about this. And I was like, we are going to tell Zach what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because Scott's not going to let us help.
Yeah.
So we were like trying to, on the sly, steal Zach away long enough to let him know, like, listen, this is not working. We can tell it's not working. Scott can't even be in this room right now because he's so stressed out about this not working out. Let us help you. Mm-hmm. And we came up with a plan to go and hunt down table coverings that would fit these round tables and some sort of simple table decor to zhuzh it up a little bit, yes. Right? Our word of the day. So we decided we were going to hit Hobby Lobby, and then we joked that how funny that we're going to Hobby Lobby to purchase items for a gay wedding, because I don't think they support. But it was the only thing in town. Okay, Party City was closed. Okay, don't judge us. Okay, Party City was closed.
Joann Fabrics had nothing.
Joann Fabrics had not shit.
We did get the tablecloths at Walmart.
Yes.
They were just $1 a piece, plastic tablecloths, but they looked fine.
They looked great because we were zhuzhing.
Yes.
So it's fine.
So we bought the tablecloths from Walmart. We bought table runners from Hobby Lobby, and plus like little flowery like wreaths to put the candles in. Because literally all that was going to go on the table was like 4 candle holders, like tea light candle holders, and then like QR code thing.
Yeah, a
to,
little
like
card.
upload.
Like a little card.
There's a little card with them with like the wedding information and plus like a QR code so you can upload pictures and videos.
Right. Which would have been fine had they the nice, navy blue table coverings that were fabric. Had that been an option, it wouldn't have needed to be fancier than that. Like, we could have arranged the candles pretty. Like, it would have been totally fine. But the table coverings sort of fucked us, and so we had to improvise, which is fine. We, however, kept running back and forth between the stores.
Between Hobby Lobby and Walmart. We went to Walmart twice, Hobby Lobby twice.
Yes.
Joanne Fairworks once. Joanne Fairworks had nothing.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
We shopped for everything. We got back to your house. We got dressed for the rehearsal.
Yeah.
Dressed and ready. I had to hurry up and slap curls in Amanda's hair and had her handle her face before she left. And then I finished getting ready and then left her house and brought the rest of the decor with me and finished setting up the fellowship hall while you guys rehearsed.
Yeah. Because, I was the maid of honor, best woman, whatever. We also used the term best bitch, but I was going to include that in my speech, but since I was in a church, I didn't, even though it's a very open church, I didn't want to, like, just say that in my speech, and my mother would be horrified.
Yeah.
So
Curlin would have melted into a puddle.
She's like, my daughter just used the term best bitch
in a
church fellowship hall in front of 200 people.
Even though we all cussed a mighty lot in the church all day.
Yes, all day.
The Catholic in me was screaming, "Oh my God, why? You're going to hell. You can't do this." Mm-hmm. I didn't even want to cuss in the church parking lot, but I can't help it. I can't change my stripes anymore. It just came flying out. But every time I said it, I felt guilty. I was like, shit, I shouldn't have said it. Shit, I shouldn't have said it.
Jesus forgives you.
It's fine. He knows who I am at this point.
So I leave a little bit early because I have to also pick up stuff from Walgreens. Me and Granger, the best man, we decided to just kind of like have a couple pictures included on like a bookcase that was sitting behind the head table. So I picked up pictures from that. So that was like also a last minute thing. And so Nikki finishes up decorating the hall, made it look beautiful. Considering we had a few hours notice. And then so we do the rehearsal. We get to the rehearsal dinner, like the rest of the wedding party shows up, and then except for one because he couldn't come early enough, and so we get that done. We go bowling, like our side goes bowling,
which was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun at bowling.
Yeah, we went bowling.
I drink Tito's.
it was just something like we sound very boring, but it's like there's not a lot to do around here, and also that's something
we used to do.
It's
all the time.
It's something we used to do all the time
when we were in high school and after high school. It was like our hangout spot, so we got to go do that, which was fun.
So we did that because we're old. We then were done by like 9.
Yeah, we were over it.
Yeah, and so.
Scott was like, "Let's go back to my house and play games." I was like, "I love you, but no."
I told him beforehand because he said in the group chat before everything, he goes, and if we want, we can come afterwards play games. I told him before that, I'm like, "Sir, I love you, but no."
Yeah, but we can't.
It's not. Meanwhile, Zach's side, his husband, they went to like 2 different bars and then were out to like midnight. I'm like, "No, ma'am, no, ma'am." So then the next day, so Saturday, we originally were going to go to a local cafe to go eat, but it was in like 30 minutes away from us. It was near Scott, 30 minutes away from us, which would have been fine, but like we were so stressing about having to get everything done because Nikki decided to give herself the job of makeup and hair stylist.
Yeah.
Which we greatly appreciate her for, and we have thanked her multiple times, and even tried to pay her, and she refused. And so she did like 4 girls' hairs besides me. Like she did my hair and makeup because I'm hopeless and never learned how to girl. She did one girl. You did another girl's hair and makeup.
Sky's hair and makeup.
Sky's hair and makeup. You did Kelsey's makeup. And then you did Heather's
hair. Yeah.
So I think that was it. Everyone else is fine.
And a random little child that was in the bathroom whose grandmother asked me if I would put a ponytail in her hair. So I did that too.
So
plus, then I had to get my own self ready.
Then she had to get her own self ready.
Like my face was done in the morning, but then I had to curl my own hair.
So we get to the church about 8. Scott graciously just decides to pick up the food, our breakfast, everyone's breakfast, and just brings it to the church. Because I'm like, Scott, I'd rather drive 5-10 minutes to the church than 30 minutes, eat there, and spend way too much time hanging out, knowing that we have time blindness and we'll just talk forever.
Forget, yeah.
And so when I'd rather just eat and get shit done.
Yeah.
And so, because we know who we are as people. Mm-hmm. So we get that done. We finish everything else in the church. We start everyone's hair. I get ready, and then while she does everything else, we make sure everything else is ready. Like, honestly, like, now everything's just kind of a blur to where it's like...
After my hair was curled and I sat down in the sanctuary, everything was a blur. I was like, it all just sort of hit me how much had happened in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Because we didn't stop. We had not stopped moving since Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. And this is now Saturday at just after 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, I think I put the last curl in my hair maybe 10 minutes before the ceremony started.
Right.
And, like, thankfully, I didn't have very far to walk. It was down the hallway. So,
Yes.
like, it was fine. But it was a lot. The ceremony was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I cried the whole time because I can't control my face anymore. My emotions just leak out of my eyeballs.
My mom thought you were sweating.
Yeah, she thought I was sweating. I was like, no, Carolyn, I was crying tears, uncontrollable crocodile tears that I just could not handle.
So we do the ceremony. It was about an hour because it was a full sermon.
Mm-hmm.
They did like a hand fasting thing, like a whole knot ceremony. Like
Which, I just have to comment on that. I have heard of people doing this, but I've never seen the actual ceremony because I'm very, like, surprised that they chose that. I didn't think that would be something that they would do because that's actually something that's incredibly pagan. Like, it's a pagan thing.
It's a Celtic,
It's a Celtic thing. Mm-hmm. So, like, I didn't realize how prevalent that even was anymore, other than, like, in the witchy community that I hang out in. So it was really cool to see that because it's something that if Jordan and I in the next couple of years decide to do an actual ceremony, is something I've wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So it was really cool to see that in action. And now I really know after seeing it in action that it's something I do want to do.
Because they didn't mention like the knot ceremony at the rehearsal, or if they did, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
But I remember in the rehearsal they mentioned about hand fasting. I didn't understand, like, full disclosure, my only experience with like hand fasting is the show Outlander. Like, a couple of the characters get hand fasted, and that's like their version of like kind of like an impromptu marriage, impromptu wedding, where like, oh, we got hand fasted and we just said our vows before God, like not before a priest, not anything like that. So that was like, so I thought it was like, okay, I don't know what it is in this context. It was kind of the same. I mean, obviously they had like pastors. I don't know what their official terms were. It was a couple, a man and woman couple, head of the church, and so they did like the hand fasting ceremony. I'm like, I don't know what that means in this term. I just know what it means in Outlander. And so I knew, like, I'm like, okay, so this is very...
Pop cultural context clues.
Yeah, so I'm like, I know this is like, because that's based in Scotland. I'm like, okay, that's like Scottish, Celtic, you know, so I'm like, okay, and then the Celtic knots. So they had like 6 people from their lives, each carry their own like cord. And then they like, I couldn't see from my angle. I'm assuming they were wrapping around their hands. Okay, because I couldn't see it.
Yeah, and then they make... There you have the person who's doing the ceremony, who's like officiating the ceremony. I didn't see it because there was a very tall man in front of me whose head was blocking everything. But I know there was some like knot that was formed by moving the cords in their hand. And then when they pull on the ends of each end of the cord, it creates an infinity knot. And so that is something that they get to keep and have in their home.
Because we sat in pews on either side of the altar. So I was in the back corner, so I couldn't really see much, but it was all very beautiful. Granger, he's in a wheelchair, so he was sitting like right next to them, like right on the altar, and so anytime I would have been fine if I just kind of like spaced out, which I didn't want to space out, so don't get that wrong. It's like I needed to like disassociate for a little bit, but every time I looked at Granger crying, I also then cried because I'm an empathy crier, and so Granger cries at the drop of a hat, and then. So it was very beautiful. Then the ceremony gets done. You know, everything is done. It was very funny. The couple were very funny. It was like, it was formal but informal. Like they weren't too serious about it. Like they made jokes. They like, oh, he's like, well, I didn't mean to mispronounce your name. Whoops.
Yeah, because he said, "Gimme Scout."
Yeah, gimme Scout. He's like, "Gimme Stout." And so, they got that done. Then after that, Scott, he's like, your guys, you can get informal after. He's like, just as long as you stay formal through the toast. Okay. So I had to give a speech. I don't speak in front of people. I wrote my speech down. Everyone thought I was writing it the day of. I'm like, I'm not that unprepared.
No,
like,
she's just perfecting it and rewriting it out.
Yeah, because I had written it. I had typed it on a computer. I don't want a printer, and I didn't think to ask anyone to, like, print it out, because I don't want anyone to read it, because I was just concerned. I'm like, I don't want any judgment for anybody. I just want to read this once. And so I had someone... So I just kind of, like, wrote it in a notebook from my computer, and then I was just rewriting it, like, in between the ceremony and the reception, and people were concerned. I'm like, it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. And so I was writing it. We did the start of the reception. Reception was good. The hall looked great. The Granger gives his speech, and he improvs, and because he's good at that.
Yeah.
He speaks basically for a living. And so I was like, I hope y'all don't mind that I read from a notebook, because I can't do that. And so I did better than I thought. Like, I only kind of, like, choked up once, and then so I kind of had to, like, compartmentalize to, like, get myself through it. It's kind of like I was shaking so bad, and so I was trying to, like, just hold it together. I'm like, just gotta do it for 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. And apparently everyone loved it, because random people came up to me that I didn't know, were like, your speech was great. I'm like, thank you, I hope you're not just saying that, but thanks anyway. So we then get to the point. I asked Scott, I said, so how long do you think this is going to go on? Reception started at 4. It's like, how long do you think this is going to go on? He goes, well, if people aren't gone by 9, we're basically kicking people out. And so he's like, people are going to be out here coming out. I'm like, okay. And it was like 6 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this for 3 more hours.
Yeah, like, I came and found you, and I was like, I am going to look like the biggest asshole in the world, but I need a sensory break. Like, I can't anymore. All the will to do anything left my body. And I could tell that, like, I couldn't fake an expression anymore. And I was like, oh shit, it's happening. Like, I'm losing control of my faculties here. Like, I can't fake smile. I can't whatever. Like, my brain is officially dying. And so I came and found you, and you were like, yeah, let's go. I'm out. We're going to go hide. So there was a little lounge, like, off the fellowship hall. And we went to go sit down with a drink and just chill, because our brains needed a break.
And, like, I felt bad, because it's like, usually I try to, like, do some sort of stuff, like, at least because, you know, white people, as long as there's cha-cha slide going on, I'm up there, or the Cupid shuffle or something, but I just couldn't, and I felt bad. Scott found us at some point. He goes, no, you stay as long as you need. I'm like, but then I felt bad later, because they did, like, the whole pictures, like, the Polaroid cameras, and everyone created, like, a whole photo album, and I was like, I'm not in a single one of these. And so
her and I were not in a single Polaroid, because they had these cute little Polaroid cameras out on the table, and anyone could walk up and take pictures of themselves, or, like, whoever, and then at the end there was these little photo album books they could put them in, which I think was adorable, because you don't have to wait for pictures to come back. It's amazing. But we realized her and I were not in a single Polaroid, because we just were not out there mingling, and I felt terrible about it, but I know that had I forced myself to stay out there,
we would have a complete meltdown.
It would have been worse. And so we're grateful for the fact that he understood that.
So I had someone, like, take a couple pictures of us, and then I just kind of stuck one of them in the album, like, okay, we're there. We were there. I promise. We were there. We promise.
I hate that stuff happens at occasions like this, where it's like, you want to be there. It's not that we don't want to be here. It's not that we don't want to be interacting with people, or a part of it, or anything. Our needing a break or secluding ourselves makes it look like we don't want to be there, and that's not the case. We just needed a fucking break. Her and I had not stopped moving since Thursday morning. I drove down 3 hours from maybe 4 hours of sleep the night before, because we lost power again at 2 a.m. for no reason, and I couldn't go back to sleep. And so I left my house at 5 o'clock in the morning. So it was a lot of things all at once in sequence.
And you knew you were going to help on Thursday.
Yeah.
But we did not realize what the amount, like, I knew we would have to break down the fellowship hall, whatever. Yeah. I didn't know about setting it up, which is fine. I just didn't know what was lacking.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Scott, we love you. This is not, like, an attack on you or anything. Like, everything was beautiful. We just didn't, like, if we just would have known, it would have been.
Well, I don't even think that it would have mattered had we known, honestly, for me. Like, I think it's just, it's one of those involuntary things. I can't control it. I had no problem doing any of the things we did. I enjoyed it, actually. I actually had a lot of fun helping and finding things and setting things up. I'm creative like that. I love to do things like this. I didn't get to do this for myself. So it's fun when I can help other people do it. And I enjoyed every minute of everything I did. But that doesn't mean
that wasn't tired.
That I wasn't tired. It doesn't mean that my body didn't pay me back for that. And that's the shittiest part about this. It's like, you don't have to be doing things that are stressful for you to do or things that you don't necessarily love to do to get placed in this situation of involuntary exhaustion. Like, you just don't get a choice. And I think that's more than anything the reason for this episode. It's like, this was a beautiful, fun-filled friend gathering, nostalgia fest. Like, this was everything her and I love, right? We love our friends. We love hanging out. We love the nostalgia factor of seeing people we haven't seen in 10 or 15 years. Like, it was wonderful. I love being creative. I love doing hair and makeup. I love setting up, beautiful, tablescapes and things like that. Decorating, like, it's my thing. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of everything we did. I am a helpful person in general, and so are you. So, like, these are not things that we were disgruntled or forced into doing. These were things we were genuinely enjoying. But by the end of it,
it was just chaotic.
By the end of it, we had nothing left, and
we were
that
spent.
Sucks.
We did 110% of our energy.
Yeah, it sucks because that wasn't what we I didn't want to hide in the lounge all night. Like, after all of the work we did, I didn't want to not enjoy it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I was enjoying it, but like, my brain would not let me show that to anybody. And I knew that if I did not remove myself from that situation, I was already close to tears for other reasons. And like, every minute I stayed in that loud ass fellowship hall was getting worse and worse and worse for me to control my emotions. So I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here for 5 minutes. So it's just frustrating to have a brain that doesn't let you fully experience things you enjoy because you've done things you enjoyed too much.
Right. Then we got to the point where Scott came at some point. He goes, well, most people are gone. Luckily, there were some guests there. I'm not really sure who they were, but there were some guests that were also doing it. And like, one of the groomsmen on the other side just literally was going around cleaning up all the trash. Yeah,
like,
I'm like, thank God to Caleb.
Jumped in and got shit done. Yeah, and Sky and her partner stayed and helped. Monica stayed and helped. We helped. And then there were, like you said, a lot of a few guests that stayed. Like, once they realized, oh, it's time to be cleaning up, like, everyone just all of a sudden had all the chairs stacked up. Yeah. Like, I turned around, we walked in and there were chairs and tables everywhere. And I feel like 2 minutes went by and I turned around and all the chairs were stacked up. And I was like, hot damn, this is what we were hoping for.
Yeah, like Scott's mom and like, I think that was Scott's mom, like that was her friend. Yeah, and like another friend. And then,
but God bless that woman. I don't think she ever left the kitchen.
No, she did not. So we got everything done. We kind of left. We left the same time as Monica. We left before Sky and Quinn. And then I felt bad. They're like, well, are you going to come to Scott's? We're like, no. Like, they had to go to Scott's because they had to drop stuff off and do stuff. But
and I think someone else, from Zach's side went. I think Kelsey and her partner went to their house. But we told Scott, we're like, we love you, but it's like, and like, we, at that point, felt like we were in the way. So it's like, we went up to Scott, we're like, unless there's something you specifically need from us right now, we're going to go. Yeah, because at that point, like, all the tables were done, all the chairs were done, like, everything but the kitchen.
We packed up his car to the brim.
Packed his car to the brim, and, like, there was not a single stone left unturned other than what was happening in the kitchen, right. And there was already 5 people in the kitchen doing things.
Like every other room in the building was cleaned out of everything else, and so...
We'd already cleaned the lounge and the parlor and like, everything,
So we just... And he understood... Very understanding man. And he's like, he's like, you guys go home, get a shower, go to bed. I'm like, yes, sir. We'll do.
Then I looked at her and I said,
looked at me.
And she looked at me and I said, I need
sustenance.
So I need sustenance.
And a large Diet Pepsi.
And mindless TV. Mm-hmm. And then I need to sit there and dissociate while I eat and drink the crispy water. And she said, let's do it.
So we stopped at Freddy's.
Yeah, so we stopped at Freddy's, which is right down the road from her house, thank God. And I did such thing. And then I got home and I did that neurodivergent thing where you can't eat until you're comfortable. So I put my food that I was nice and warm, getting cold, down. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't even eat this until I shower. So I went and took a shower and got comfortable. And then I was able to sit down and eat my food and disassociate with stupid television.
Yeah.
Right about 11 o'clock, you and I looked at each other and we were like, yeah, it's bedtime.
It's bedtime. And then so she finally called her husband and was like, I've been ignoring him for like 3 days. I probably should call him back.
Poor guy. He's just like, do I even have a wife anymore?
It's like, did she just leave me?
Yeah, because he had to stay home with the kids because we didn't have childcare. Oh, God, I'm sorry. This yawn number like 5 at this point, I think, honestly, though, because I've just been trying not to yawn because it's easier to not have to stop this recording once it starts. Anyway, so that brings us to today. Of course, I couldn't sleep in because, like, why wouldn't I? My biological clock is like, it's 7 o'clock and you're not awake. Get the fuck up. So
Folgers in your
cup. Get the fuck up. So yes, I woke up earlier than I wanted to, laid there disgruntled about it, and then finally decided to get up and get started on some of this stuff because I knew we were doing this today. So yeah, and now we're here. Oh no, we went and got breakfast. We went and got breakfast and got noms, and then came back here and disassociated some more. And then, yeah, now we're doing this.
I think I've drank more Dunkin'. Like, I usually get Dunkin' like once a week. I think I've drank more Dunkin' in like the past 3 days than I have in like the past month. And
yeah.
So it's just...
She looked at my app. She was like, "Ooh, you have boosted status." I'm not proud of it. Okay, I give these people my life savings because it's an issue for me. And she was like, "Yeah, I get it like once a week." And I'm like, shut up with your responsibility. I don't want to hear it.
I used to get it more, but then the Dunkin' helped me gain 30 pounds. Yeah. And so, because I had a coworker who, you know, before she moved to a different branch, we'd always get it at the, like, you know, 2 or 3 times a week, and it's like I could not anymore. So, and also that was eating into my life savings. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it Mondays, because Mondays typically do the boosted or the bonus points, and so I'm just gonna do that. And so I got up about 9. I did wake up a couple times. Like, I think I woke up once at like 7, and then like 7:45, and then I heard something at 9. Like, I set my alarm for 9:30 because I don't want to be too irresponsible. So I set my alarm for 9:30. I woke up me up at 9. I don't know if it was the TV or something, but I was like, well, I better get up. It's been at least 9 hours. That's fine. That's enough. That's fine. So I just kind of laid there for about 5-10 minutes. Finally got up. I was like, okay, let's go be a productive human beings. And we made sure we started picking up everything because we're like, I don't want to do this tonight. So
yeah. So we're here.
Now we're here.
I mean, I feel like we've probably ramble storied their ears off at this point. But do you have any like last minute thoughts about like the social exhaustion thing and like what you think? Well, let's talk about this. Like, what do you think the next week is going to look like for you? Because I know this is not something that just corrects itself immediately. Like, what do you think the next like recovery period is going to look like for you?
Well, like I said, I start my new position this week, tomorrow, and I think it'll be fine. The problem is that my new boss, she's going to be gone for 2 weeks. She'll be available through email and Glip or whatever, or like work chat. And so she'll be available. I just don't have someone like directly to ask questions because she's really the only other person that knows this information that I learned. And so, but I think after work, it'll be a lot of me just going home and vegetating. That's kind of why I wanted to get the house as like straight as possible, because I knew I just could not the rest of the week. I feel like everything's like a blur the past, like I feel like these past 3-4 days have just been one long continuous day, like a whole 96-hour period. So like I can pick out bits and pieces of things that happened, but it's hard. Like, I almost couldn't tell what happened on Thursday versus Friday versus Saturday. Yeah. So I think this whole next week is just going to be me just kind of going home and vegetating in front of YouTube or a video game. Yeah, same. Samesies. I'm returning to work tomorrow into a fresh new sale. Another big one, which this has been the year of big ones. I'm not sure why. We've only ever done 2 big sales a year until now. Fine. So we're going into a sale.
both myself and my manager have work on this weekend. So hopefully when we return to the store, it will be in one piece. I can't care at the current moment, but my recovery will be much the same. I'm praying to God my husband had 2 brain cells to rub together and was able to at least get the basic things around the house accomplished so that when I get home, I don't have to look at a mess. He's usually very good about that. He usually doesn't leave shit just laying around for me to do. He usually is the one doing most of the things. But I feel like because my brain, because my brain is so already overwhelmed with everything that's gone on, I am not going to have any energy to, clean anything or do anything. So I will just live in the filth for the next week until I can regain some semblance of self after this. But I did just want to have this conversation today because of what I said earlier. This is social exhaustion is a difficult thing to deal with for people like us, and it doesn't necessarily
affect only
the things that you don't want to do. But I did want to do all of this, and I did enjoy all of this, but it doesn't make you exempt from the consequences of having the brain like I have.
Well, it's kind of when people go on vacation, going on vacation is tiring.
Yeah.
And coming back, traveling is tiring. Yes, you had a great time, but you go home and you just want to sleep.
Right.
So basically the same thing.
Yeah. So, but this is just every day for us, and can come out of nowhere. So, I mean, we have an explanation for why it happened, but it just sucks. And to Scott and Zach, and we just want you to know that this is not something that you guys did, or that it wasn't a result of us not wanting to do everything for you, or
we were willing to do it.
We were happy to do it.
Yes.
Whatever we needed to do. But it, unfortunately, with the brains we have, it's just not possible to sustain it as long as we have sustained it. So
we're running on fumes, as they say.
Running on fumes for sure. So with that being said, I do have a couple things I want to talk about before we go, podcasty things. So Amanda and I this morning decided, our Zoom thing might be expiring soon, and I really don't want to renew it. Let's talk about a new way to record. So we're exploring Discord for this. We've found a way to make that happen, but in the meantime, I have created a Discord community for you guys to come and join. Facebook is more difficult, and so is Instagram, I feel like, to really build a good community of people. It's a nice way to get exposure for the show, but I don't really find it effective for community. So we're going to give Discord a try. You can come and find that server. I have it linked on the Facebook page now, but I'll link it in the show notes. Come and join that server. There is a general chat. There's also a memes chat you decided to create. So come and check those out. We'll be sharing things to that to kind of get it kicked off. But we'd love to see you over there. We'd love to meet you, learn who's listening. Just start forming a community, because that's what I'd like to do. That was kind of one of the points of the show, is we found community in each other and learning about our brains together, so let's do that with all of you.
Yeah.
So come join the Discord. Facebook page is still there. It's linked. Instagram's linked. Also, we are kicking around ideas. If we get enough of y'all on the Discord, we might do some fun things over there. But we got to get people interested first. So you guys if you guys show up, we will start putting our heads together for bonus content for y'all.
And the name of the Discord is the Neurodivergent Convergence Podcast?
Yeah, podcast. Yep. And I think it might say podcast chat or something like, or podcast community. That's what it is. The Neurodivergent Convergence Podcast Community. It's a big, long mouthful of a thing. But it's there. And so it'll be linked for you. We'll link everything else in the show notes like we always do. It'll just be the AI story this time, though, because we really don't have any education for y'all today.
It's just story time.
Yeah, we just needed a story time day.
Didn't have time for research and scientific shit.
And even if we did, we didn't have the brain cells. So there's that. So we just wanted to talk at you today about what this weekend was like for us and how we're going to try to recover. So I hope everybody is, if you are suffering from social exhaustion, much like us, we have a magic pill for you. No, I'm just kidding. Take the rest you need. We love you all, and we will see you next week. Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.